So I've been using the iPhone 16 Pro Max now for about a month, and there's not a lot physically different from last year's 15 Pro Max. There's really minor incremental upgrades here, and the main things Apple were really pushing are those Apple Intelligence features. And I found it really odd that even when you go in the Apple Store, all the phones, they say Apple Intelligence, but when you go ahead and hold down the button for Siri, it doesn't have Apple Intelligence. It's still using the old school Siri, and it just seems kind of weird and sneaky to advertise it when it's not out yet. But finally, Apple have released the 18.1 update, which brings some of those Apple Intelligence features to the 16 series as well as the 15 Pro. So if you have the regular 15, you're kind of out of luck. But if you have any MacBook with Apple Silicon or an iPad, then you will be able to get Apple Intelligence, which is pretty damn awesome. But yeah, I've been playing around with this phone for a month now, and we're going to talk about some of my feelings about the software and really touching on this new 18.1 update. There was a time when people mentioned Apple potentially removing all the buttons on the phone, but I feel like they actually went the other way. So they started adding buttons. Last year, we got the new action button, which was pretty nice. Definitely could have made it a lot more useful. They really held back on the functionality. And this year, we have the new camera button, but it's not even called a button, it's the camera control. And it's this touchpad, gesture pad button that you can use to control your camera. And it allows you to adjust things like your tone, as well as make use of the zoom feature directly from the button. And the idea is that it's meant to kind of feel more natural, right? And we'll touch on this later, but I feel like the positioning of it, it's not quite at the corner, so it doesn't feel natural in landscape, but then it feels very unnatural when you're holding the phone in portrait. But again, let's talk about that later. So this year, I yet again opted for the black phone. I always go for black or graphite. This is black titanium. It's the same black titanium as last year. The phone pretty much feels the same as my 15 Pro Max, but there are minor things that I notice that distinguish it, such as the bigger 6.9-inch display, as well as the upgraded cameras and obviously the camera button like we talked about. But overall, it kind of feels the same as the 15 Pro Max. By the way, if you're curious about the case I'm rocking, I'm going to touch on this later, but today's video's sponsor is CASETiFY, so they did send me out a collection of the new cases, and they wanted me to just show them off. So I will show them off in the middle of this video, but if you are curious, yeah, I'm rocking a CASETiFY case. There is actually a little kickstand in here, which is pretty awesome. The main difference I see day to day when using this phone is obviously the display, because the display is the main thing you're looking at. And with this phone, you get slightly thinner, even bezels all the way around, which is nice, but you know, when you put a case on it, it does kind of add the thickness back. But you're getting a slightly larger display as well, at 6.9 inches. So this thing is a very large phone. You can definitely feel that it's bigger than last year's. And yeah, this thing is almost becoming like a mini tablet. I honestly wasn't sure whether to opt for the smaller phone this year purely because of that size bump, because sometimes I feel like I'm lugging around an iPad mini with me, and I just wish I had something slightly smaller that would fit better in my pocket, that would overall just be less bulky, and something that would be usable with one hand. But I always just tend to go for the bigger phone purely because I'm so much into content consumption that I feel like I need the bigger screen. I watch a lot of content on my phone. I film a lot of stuff on my phone. I'm watching back things, editing photos, so I feel like I make use of this larger display. I had a lot of problems in my first impressions video with just glitchiness on my iPhone, such as crashing, random rebooting with the Apple logo showing up, and apps, specifically the camera, freezing. And since installing this update, it has actually solved all of those problems. I've not had any battery drain, I haven't had any glitches or crashes, and it's kind of restored my faith a bit in Apple, because I got a bit skeptical because I've never had so many bugs before on an iPhone. And it was pretty disappointing. I feel like this phone in general just feels a bit sloppy for Apple. It doesn't feel fully finished and fine-tuned like they normally do with their products. It kind of lowered my expectations a little bit. But no, they have actually fixed all of those features, which is good to hear. I am genuinely so glad Apple fixed the control center, because I was having a lot of problems in the previous version of iOS 18. Just a lot of bugs, glitches when trying to reorder stuff, and a lot of people weren't very happy about the fact Apple actually removed the Bluetooth option from the top right and put AirDrop. A lot of people got super mad at that, because who's changing your AirDrop settings frequently? I don't really know. But Bluetooth is something I use all the time. So now you can add system toggles outside of this folder pretty much anywhere you want. So you can add cellular, airplane mode, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, any of those. You can add them wherever you want. on the main page of your control center now. A new powerful feature with Apple Intelligence is the new writing tools. So something cool is this works on device and doesn't require internet, but it basically allows you to select any text on your phone in any app and proofread. So it can go ahead and fix your spelling and grammar mistakes, but it can completely rewrite your piece of text to be more professional or in a concise manner, and you even have the options to convert the text into a list or a table. A feature I really missed because I was rocking the beta back in the summer is notification summaries. Having your notifications summarized into one line is really useful because you can quickly scroll through your list of notifications and see which ones are important, which messages are crucial by having that summarization. You don't have to rely on reading the first line, which normally doesn't give a lot of context. I kind of feel like it does strip out the personality because especially when you're messaging friends and family, it is pretty blunt. Like it just summarizes a bunch of messages into one notification in one line, and it can be pretty generic. Like you can miss out a lot of the personal feelings in that message, and it can make things sound pretty harsh. I even saw on X somebody posted a breakup summarized by Apple Intelligence, which is kind of funny. Like it's just kind of weird that like that's what the world comes to. You don't even read the real message of the breakup, you just kind of see a summarization. Today's video is sponsored by CASETiFY. So they just released a new collection of cases for the iPhone 16 series, and they sent me some over to take a look at and to show you guys. Check out how beautiful this box is they sent me over. I don't know whether this is just for creators, but overall the unboxing experience for CASETiFY products is really premium. So first up, inside the box, we have one of their new bounce cases, which is in cobalt blue. This case is not just about looks, but it actually features bounce protective corners for extra shock absorbance. You'll get an impressive 21.3 foot drop protection, and it meets military grade standard and is certified, meaning it can withstand some seriously tough environments. And on the right hand side, there is a cutout for the new camera control button, which is on all of these cases. So you can still access that button with all the new touch gesture features. All of these cases are MagSafe compatible and also support wireless charging, so you can still use all of your standard MagSafe accessories and chargers on these cases. They also offer the new Ultra Bounce case, which is available in blue or black. This thing is priced in at $100 USD. It gives you 10 times military grade protection, 32.8 foot drop protection, which is mind blowing, and it also has some new built-in camera protectors. Additionally, you can enhance your experience with the utility lanyard for $60. That's just a strap that you can wear around your neck, or you can pick up the Ultra Bounce carabiner for $30. If you want something less bulky, you should check out the Impact ring stand case. The one I'm using right here has a black bumper as well as a clear back, so you can see the beauty of the foam. And there's also a flip out kickstand, which is a ring around your camera. So this thing's pretty sturdy, solid metal, and allows you to prop your phone up in case you want to watch some content. They also sent over the standard Impact case. This one features a really unique design with a shipping label print on the back, but there's hundreds of different print styles to choose from. Be sure to check out CASETiFY's new collection using my link down below. And thanks again to CASETiFY for sponsoring today's video. So now let's take a look at the Photos app. So a lot of people don't like this app. I have mixed feelings about it. I feel like it's kind of growing on me. But if you want to turn off some of the features, you can just scroll to the bottom, press customize and reorder, and you can just turn off all of these toggles apart from like your recents, as well as your memories or your albums. Whatever you want, just leave it ticked, and you can kind of remove some of that clutter, which is nice. But now searching through your photos is way more specific, and you can be way more detailed with your queries and even get faster results. And it doesn't just work on photos, it also works on videos, and it will actually find a specific part of a video that you search for, which is crazy. Like, I don't understand how it can search so fast through every single piece of content in your Photos app, just like that. Now in 18.1, you have this memories section, and inside of here, you can actually ask Apple Intelligence to create a memory. And a memory is basically a collection of photos and videos, and it adds some music and some effects to sort of enhance the moment, and it's pretty powerful, and it will make a memory out of them with some nice videos, nice pictures that I can look back on. This is a pretty powerful feature, and you can be very specific with your queries. One big area of improvement on this phone, which I don't really know is hardware or software, is the microphones. They are really good on this phone. And just from recording any video with someone talking, you can isolate their voice and it almost sounds like they have a lavalier mic on, which is just ridiculous. All you need to do is press on the edit button on any video you're talking in and then just select whichever mode you want. There's 4 different modes to choose from. I personally find the in-frame mode works the best, but it really does isolate your voice and it adds a lot of depth to it. So it sounds super crisp and I love this feature. I use it all the time for when I'm capturing content on my phone. Something we haven't seen yet is the new generative emojis. So on 18.2, I believe, you can now go ahead and type in a query and generate an emoji, which is nice, but I feel like who actually needs that? Like I feel like I just use the same emojis, but I guess the younger generation tend to look specifically for an emoji they want, and sometimes they can't find it, so they might want to generate one. Yeah, okay. I kind of get it, but I feel old. Siri has also been improved on 18.1, so now it makes use of large language models to be more natural and overall just talk less garbage, and it relies less on just giving you results from the web, which is good. But compared to things like Gemini Live on the Pixel, or even ChatGPT Voice, Siri is still years behind. I barely use it at this point, and I read recently Apple only get 1.5 billion requests from Siri every single day. And considering there's 2.2 billion active devices, that's merely one use of Siri per day per device, which is really low. So obviously a lot of people don't use it. But there's still room for improvement. Siri will be able to pull info from apps and take action inside of apps, which kind of reminds me of Bixby on my old Samsung. It used to do that and it was kind of ahead of its time. A lot of people bashed on it, but it could actually interact with things inside of applications. And I really, really want Siri to get to that next level. Like I want it to be comparable with ChatGPT Voice. I recently picked up the Meta Wayfarers and the Meta AI is actually really good. It made me realize just how bad Siri is. If something like Meta AI came to the iPhone in the form of Siri, I would be more than happy. But it feels like we've entered a whole new age with Apple, like a whole new chapter. With this phone, it's the first time ever I've seen this many new software features from Apple. Even the implementation of the software and the UI being more 3D and colorful definitely doesn't scream the old school Apple minimalism with the flat icons, the flat design. So they're definitely moving to like a new design language and I'm all for it. It definitely looks interesting. A lot of people have compared it to One UI. And I feel like Apple really are thinking outside the box a little bit more in terms of software. But yeah, the phone itself is just very, very similar to last year. And if you do have the 15 Pro Max, I would say you definitely shouldn't upgrade. It is such a minor upgrade. I actually find the camera control button rather frustrating. Like I always accidentally trigger it when trying to half press and then accidentally take a bunch of pictures. And that happens all the time. And then I need to go through and delete all of the photos. So yeah, frequently, even after a month, I'm still accidentally taking those pictures. And I've seen on 18.2, they finally brought out the option to tweak the pressure sensitivity, which is great. I'm super excited for that. But unfortunately, we still don't have it on 18.1, which is kind of a letdown. So I guess I'm going to be taking a bunch more unnecessary pictures. But something I am really excited for that's still not here yet is the new visual intelligence. So this camera button will actually be able to work almost like Google Lens, where you can hold it down, point your phone at something, and it will be able to use Apple Intelligence to scan it and give you contextual information about the address or about some details like phone numbers, emails in the image. And it will even be able to search for plants, specific breeds of animals. It will basically do what the Meta glasses do, where you can look at something and ask for some information about it. It's kind of disappointing. We just have to wait and wait and wait. And I don't really know when we'll get all the features. Maybe in 6 months, maybe for the next iPhone release. Who knows? I hope you enjoyed my little insight on 18.1 and Apple Intelligence for the 16 Pro Max. And if there's any features you think are missing or if there's anything I missed, definitely let me know in the comment section. I definitely want it to be more like a community down there where we can share ideas. And I'm really trying that over on like Threads, on X, even on Instagram. I'm just trying to be more personal with you guys. So if you aren't following me on there, definitely do go ahead and follow me. And thanks again to CASETiFY for sponsoring this video.